that loner in the corner writing in your book, this is the kind of thing that you dream of, you know? Somebody's going to call me up and take me to another country. There we go. So, it's interesting that half a continent away, there's things we still have in common. We come from cultures that encourage respect for leaders. I understand you have a whole genre of poetry called praise poetry. Yeah. So, in the end, our leaders forget that they are our employees, and this is my reminder.
Word, come on.
You work for me. But I'm tired of seeing my countrymen bleeding for the sake of your fees. See, you work for me. But I cannot believe in your incompetent grinning at my nation's needs. You work for me inadequately, selfishly stabbing our unity, spitting at the beauty and diversity, disrespectfully rubbing dirt in the wounds that it should be your duty to heal for our children's prosperity. Don't we drive on the same roads you'd rather take on loans, or aren't you here too? You work for me, not the other way around. When you mess up, it's your job to its shame, face the ground, to get up and run when any warning bells sound, not measure your cocks for some eat-eaten crowd. You don't care what parties I go to. Why should I care the other way around? What schools will you build? Where and how? Can't you feel the vibrations, my lake suffocation? Can't you see your reflection before we all drown? You work for me, just in case you forgot it. My anger has passed the point where I lost it. The time has now come to get real or forfeit. So, these guys, they're so selfish that sometimes I feel tired. You see, we had an uprising without a solution. We had violent demonstrations without a revolution. We have an open wound that needs ablution and has little to do with an incomprehensible constitution. We have selfish statues who stand by false statutes on mountains unreachable for anyone with the right attributes, who have the money and the power to put our media on mute about issues which affect us, resolute to commute to find enough bread so our babies have food. We have zealous defenders who run around in white defenders who are powerless to defend us from our leading offenders. So before the silence ends us, we must shout until it deafens us, be heard by all who seek to oppress us. Because despite our strength in numbers, we're invisible when quiet. We're invisible when quiet. We're invisible when quiet. So before we pick up our self-pity and try to drown in it, get up, stand up, get up and do something about it. So, I have never done an impersonation piece before this one. But it was 4 years after we had post-election violence. And I was scared. More than anything, I was angry at these men and women who were landing in the fields of mud-walled schools in helicopters and telling people who have a fraction of what they have what to do. So I decided to try and describe what they are doing. This piece is called Stand Up. So you can just go ahead and like imagine me in a suit, big belly, and stand up and fight for me. Don't we drink the same brand of coffee? We come from the same place, so please stand up and fight for me. Stand up and fight for me. I paid your daughter's high school fees, treated your son when he couldn't breathe. I gave your pregnant wife good things to eat. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up and burn for me. Light fires high for all to see. Convince the world that I should lead. Without you, no one else perceives that you stood to burn for me. If the fire catches your roof too, breathe. Not to worry, I'll still succeed because you stood. You stood to burn for me. Stand up and rape for me. Her brothers will understand the deed. It was not lust. You were angry, so you were forced to stand and rape for me. Stand up and kill for me, so that diplomacy can't touch me, because we are of the same creed. So if I fail, you'll bleed for me, and our blood flows together. We stood up tall when you killed for me, so stand up. Stand up and fight for me. Left to our own devices, we would just get along, but because divide and conquer is still alive and strong, camouflaged in one color. Economic barriers are excused by different languages. It would be a shame if I came all the way here and didn't do at least one piece in Kiswahili.
Yeah!
Wetu.
Our own. Oh, wetu.
Ndio. Lugha tunazo nyingi. Neno zingekuwa shilingi tungekuwa zote matajiri. Tusijilinganisha na miti mwenye tunamwona kwa runinga. Eti juu matawi zake na zangu zafanana rangi. Jilinganishe na jirani. Ndiye anaweza kutunza watoto tukienda kazi. Siku ijayo nikikosa, ndiye atanisaidia chumvi. Bega kwa bega tunayo nguvu ya kuhakikisha uhai ya amani. Tusikubali kuwa nyasi ndovu zikipigania udume. Vijana tushikane, wewe na mimi, ili kesho tule. Leo tulime. So, cultures have different things that you're supposed to do and different things you're not supposed to do. And I come from a tribe that highly values modesty and humility. Well, the next piece I'm about to perform is a piece that helped me work through the concept and understanding that that's no reason to let anyone walk all over me.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for my imperfections. I'm not sorry for my qualities. I'm not sorry that I'm beautiful. I'm not sorry that I breathe.
Go, girl.
I'm not sorry that my smile is bright, that you'll watch me till I'm out of sight. I'm not sour when her face scowls, when she will not match my light. I'm proud to be just who I am. Happy I don't give a damn. When you can't see, you shouldn't be sorry either.
Word.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to read the next piece. Growing up as a girl, there's so much, whether you like hip-hop or reggae or poetry or comedy, there's so much to look forward to in being a mother. Something that you kind of, one day. And I realized that the same can't be said for my brother. So, it's time to tell. And an ode to the amazing fathers of this world. It's a shame. Your light is shadowed over by whispered domestic war stories with more guts than glory. When your fellow dads abandoned their homes for younger love stories. It's sad that those who rise to the occasion of single parenthood will hear more blame for absent counterparts than compliment for their part. From playgrounds to churches to chamas, the women with positive stories of Learning how to ride bikes or drive cars are hushed by a cry out for babas who, whether present or not, may as well have been on Mars. So it's time. You were called out. You amazing fathers of this world. You who worked through the pressures of the right house, the right school, the right food, and didn't dwell on the temptations of the right clubs and bars. When you didn't know what to do with my hair, but did your best anyway. Aww. When you showed my brother how to hold a pen and color in, or me how bicycle cogs need greasing, and when. When you held back from overprotecting, kept track of what music I was listening, had to budget over Christmas, and explained it to me. Kept calm and listened when I was bristling with the outbursts christened in by teenage emotions. When you tried to give me a compliment or guidance and it hurt. When you repeatedly instilled in me that to live right you have to work. When the way you lived your life made me burst with pride. When someone said I looked just like you. And I think it possible that more harsh words than kind reach for you as a dad. So it's time I spoke my mind. You are amazing.
It's my dad.
But that's beautiful because it makes sense for kind of why you are the kind of man that you are.
Banging blindly on the pavement. He keeps time with his plastic bottles. One beaten down Sprite, one labeled blue water. Faded stripes on his cotton top and trousers tell a story of better times. Better times he's never had himself. Waiting patiently for Mama to finish work, he looks around, he sees many people every day, passing, seldom seeing him. The young little one he's only 5. The worn, thin slippers he drags under his tiny feet are 10 times his size. A disposable cup poses between them, collecting revenue from passers-by who want to buy, begging. The little feet are taught many lessons every day. How hard is the ground? How to carry hands out and open to the drizzle of pity that trickles down from busy guilty, fickle streets of busy coin-holding passers-by. They sit amidst the traffic, between the traffic, going to and the traffic coming from, stagnant in the closed, outstretched palm of the pavement. His elder brothers, 10 or 12, nimble, strong, and not too old to learn to pick a pocket. His brother, who is there for him, to talk, to sing a song with him, to while away the time. They learn fast, children do, to say hello, to tie their shoes, to sit with arms outstretched. They do. So, you guys like Kenya, you have a lot of wildlife, right? Anyone know what a male elephant is called?
A bull.
Well, that one really wrong already. The bull in the china shop. If I respect your opinion and you respect mine, we'll do just fine. Discourse leads to compromise in time. There's seldom need for a bull in the china shop. Force facing fragility brings progress to a full stop before it's had a chance to be heard. Though too far from here to here, there is a herd. One of whose members is fallen and butchered before 36 pounds of heart reaches full stop. With over 11 million Kenya shillings for 1 kilo of horn, and a maximum possible fine of 1 million Kenya shillings, I guess. Certain risks in the industry are real, but pay someone else for the dirty work and it's literally a steal. Mombasa, city ya raha, the port of the East Coast, but we're leaving it to Malaysia to catch our smuggling boats in the name of hard, worked-for soapstone goddesses whose images are actually carved out of carcasses from where they once came. Again, there is no need to have a bull in a China shop. But these smugglers raid the service sector, which is 63% of our trade. All they need to consider is a source for gunpowder implements. They're only up against a government that never implements, so we are implicate in gigantic profit, which knowingly impoverishes the black, the red, the green, and the white. This game of horns and tusks is a thorn in the task that an entire nation is geared to achieve. Our 3-ton mothers are being cut open before gestation completion, crushing beneath them the flimsy, archaic laws on which they are leaning. We are custodians of national treasure, the loss of which immeasurable. It takes 1.8 years to make a baby elephant, and that's something none of us can do. So before, as seems likely, 2020 finds their population through, we will stop allowing any parts of our majestic bulls and cows from finding their tombs in any Chinese shops. There is never a need for a bull in a China shop.
Yeah.
Right, to finish up, I'm sure you heard about a terrorist attack that happened last year.
Westgate.
Yeah, Westgate. Yeah. So Kenya is a very accepting, welcoming country, but for a short time after that incident, there was a bit of xenophobia, religious division, and that's the thing about terrorism. It doesn't just attack in the place where it takes place; it attacks the community around it. So I had to say something. I couldn't allow them to win, so this is my reply. Define and conquer. To be Kenyan is to smell the scent of the dust that's jumping up to meet the rain that's coming. To be Kenyan is to celebrate the clouds, knowing behind them the sun is rising, and with their marriage come the promise of milk, of honey, because to be Kenyan is not to survive. To be Kenyan is to surprise. I'll be honest. Art Cafe is not exactly my cup of tea, and I could never figure out how so many cars wore red and white stickers. Why market for free? I guess I kind of scoffed at the security checks until militants attacked a playground. Yes, we were shot. Yes, we were wounded. No, we are not falling. We won't let one radical group foster xenophobic dawning. We built the bullet glass barricades that held their fort for several days. If we start hating all outsiders, then they win. That's regressive change. Do not think that blind hate is not blind. We must seek to define what they tried to divide. To be Kenyan is to see beauty in curves which frame the colors around Msemos Aleso. To be Kenyan is to mourn out loud, to cry in ululations as exclamation that the ones we lay to rest have found the afterlife, because to be Kenyan is not to survive. To be Kenyan is not to hide. To be Kenyan is to be proud. Time makes its changes to faces, through phases, past places within which all wounds try to be healed. We used to know death was coming when an owl was heard. Now we read abuses in 3 languages from Mohammed Kamau's Twitter bird. We scream hushed insults at a government that should have known an attack was pending. But what we're forgetting is that it always was. These cowards' scare tactic is to keep on threatening what we won't let them threaten is our unity, our worth. Trust me, I get it. It's difficult to define identity when you're mixed up, but that's just it. Our diversity is who we are, and I know we're not quite arm in arm. Nobody wants to be surprised by harm. Racial and ethnic profiling is in our blood, but we won't let them take our hospitality, period. In some places, our people were met by one book, one God, and spices. In some places, our people were met by one book, one God, and rifles. All with slavery up their sleeves perceived a human of a different breed with currencies of calorie beads which used to glitter like litter. Our beaches, we are rich beyond riches. To be Kenyan is to smile with every part of your being, forgetting the fact that your back is aching when you're Kenyan. Every tree has meaning. Tererem chicha fall, like manna dropped by God's winged messengers. The coconut and mango trees model our generosity, the cassava, the guava, our children's dreams. Tell tales of plenty and harmony, because to be Kenyan is not to survive. To be Kenyan is not just to live and abide. To be Kenyan is to give something small, not to brag. To be Kenyan is not to swallow lies. To be Kenyan is to see the honey through the hive, to love and give thanks for life, to see fish and die. To be Kenyan is to thrive.